welcome back to our channel. This is Homeboys and Homegirls, and I'm hanging out here with
Kamala.
Down. So this is the episode number 3 of Homeboys and Homegirls, and this week we've had interesting things happen. Buda, tuanze wapi?
Hata before tuendelee, thanks subscribers. Tumeongezeka? Tumeongezeka bana.
Tuko sawa. Tunaendelea
tuko sawa. Yeah, we are now at
81,
si ndio?
Huo mtu mmoja usiwache.
Muhimu sana.
The Lord went back for one person.
Sasa tunashukuru asanteni kwa support yenu, tunaendelea pole. We are just growing pole tu, tutafika kwenye inafaa kufika. Na nijue.
Amen. The most important thing, just keep sharing if you like the content. Ifikie watu wengine tuendelee kwenda mbele. Sio? Very nice. And with that, what have you seen this week?
Hii wiki nayo content imekuwa mingi. Tuseme ukisema mingi but imekuwa very significant. It's very nzito. Nzito.
Very, I'd say, world changing things. For example, the first thing that has been happening is that Americans were in an election. It's been election week. Hii mwaka kuna election mingi sana, but there are 2 elections that have been very noticeable to me. One was the Botswana election of the president of Botswana. Walikuwa wanafanya their presidential race, and the thing that fascinated me about that race is that the president of the country was voted out after serving 1 term. And not only was he voted out, he was voted out by an extreme majority. Like, their party lost control of their power for the first time in over 50 years. Right?
Sasa ni kama ile mambo yalikuwa yanafanyikanga ya kani ya kitambo.
Yes, similar thing in Botswana. So, not only did they lose, they lost by a landslide. But the thing that fascinated me most about that election was President mwenye alikuwa amekalia kiti, the president himself, lost the election, called the opposition leader.
Yeah, he was very graceful about it.
He was very graceful about it. Called the opposition leader. Akamcongratulate. Na akasema, I will concede and accept the result of a democratic election.
Sasa si hata kwenye ilikuwa, because I had the audio, kwenye ilikuwa ni fascinating zaidi ni ile, I am open to working with the government to better
this country.
This country. Ukitaka usaidia, hata kama ukitaka advice ya kitu yote, seek out my help. I'll be there. Nazanipigia
and good job. And I was like, see how watu walikuwa na campaign against each other. And let me tell you, even because I did a bit of digging on the Botswana election. See, it's like kama when you unaonanga in some states, election hata history kubwa. In fact, you look at somewhere like France, election is so simple. It's literally they vote on almost like a piece of simple sheet paper, right? Huko bado kulikuwa na mavisanga. There were candidates from party, the opposition leader inaitwa something umbrella something. Umbrella of democratic something. I can't remember, but it has umbrella. So hii umbrella walikuwa na accuse the ruling party of election thievery. Kuna candidates mpaka walikuwa wanasema wanapibia kura, the government is trying to use loss of electricity as a way kuiba kura. So it's not like it was a perfect system. I think it was the people who are in power that portrayed something that is near perfection. So my question to you is, do you think that would ever happen in Kenya?
Watu wana machungu mengi because system ya Kenya it's built upon winner takes all.
True.
Unaona, kwa sasa pale unajua nikilose I have everything to lose, if I win I have everything to win. So unapata like ukisha lose pale na hiyo kiburi watu wanakuwa nayo huku like hakuna venye utakati na nani mambo kuja tufanye kazi. Si ndio kitu wanasikianga said in the previous election. Ni kitu tulikuwa nasikia kabla nini hata tu kabla tuende kwa debe. Unasikia story nini? Hakuna mambo ya nusu mkate sasa.
Hatuwezi gawana
bali mapema. Yaani wataanza kusema tu because it's a winner take all.
Yeah.
So actually this is a good setup and a good it should be a good model for other countries who can kana politics hivyo. Si ati inamaanisha mkisha nini mnyameshinda.
Inakuwa ni vita
pale ukataa ati
street chaos, because I'm thinking even if I was like a die-hard supporter of the president, alafu nisikie amepiga hiyo simu ameambia the opposition leader sasa wetu nao ni aje
una relax
mimi nimecheki umeshinda, I accept the results and I'll help you in whatever way. Kwanza unajua kitu ni bamba kwa hiyo nini inaitangwa aje Nilibamba kwa hiyo audio, alimwambia I'm even willing to do the handover ceremony on Monday, or I think he mentioned that day, and then said or whenever it's good for you.
Exactly.
I was like, Africa.
Jamaa. Unaona jamaa. Hata kwa kiburi huko.
So after seeing that, one thing that has happened, because the dynamic of this year's elections have been issue a one term, right? Because if you check, even now as we move on to the American discussion, Biden was a one-term president.
Yes.
He's only ruled for the 4 years, which is the term limit ya US. Na sasa ameondoka. Na Democrats wamelose.
Sema sleepy.
Na pia Trump ali rule one term.
Yes.
So it's been a season of talking about one terms, right?
Like it's possible kitu inafanyika.
So
kitu inafanyikia mtu sasa.
So before we discuss America. Wakenya wanasema hii inaweza happen Kenya one term. Au mtu wetu Mr. Must Go. Do you think it's possible?
Hiyo in any case, inajulikana where the people stand. Majority of the people anyway. Sasa hiyo Kenya ni ngumu. Hata
napiga
hesabu because let's be honest. Hata hizi za Kalu, hizi za Moi, kila mtu alikuwa anataka like utapata a vast majority of supporters wako
wa Moi.
Alikuwa Moi, but alikuwa anapita anyway. Alikuwa anapita anyway. Yes sir.
What are you saying?
Alikuwa anapita. So watu waendelea tu story wewe. Alikuwa anapita anyway. So in a sense sasa ni ngumu kusema, it's still too early to say. But
still too early to say.
But when watu wanaelekea saa hii, unajua ni pale slogans zimekuwa zikuku to the 3 letter words. Zinakuwa zikisema kama mahali. So
me I think you see everything, granted that he had a lot of support coming into presidency. Including hata watu kama sisi to support Ruto. The thing is, never in Kenya's history has a president gotten so unpopular in 2 years. Do you know this is the first time watu wanasema wanaongelea hata story ya one term? Properly, people are actually discussing it out in the open that this is the first time people are going to mobilize to make him a one-term president. This is the time when it may happen. So honestly, if I'm being honest, hata hii election tulitoka 2022 kuna watu walikuwa wanasema ushaisikia system imeshindwa. System hajaishindwa. Sijui deep state
itakuwa very democratic. The only time imeshindwa ni
time ya Kibaki.
Yes, it was 2 years.
Do you think the system lost that time? Me, I don't believe the system lost.
How?
The system accepted. The system didn't lose.
Like sasa ile imekuwa dated basi wakaamua
ile design, Kanu was on one side, everybody else was on the other.
Sasa ndio wanasema
it was so obvious.
Landslide ndio wanasema like hiyo lakini walikubali concession.
Yeah, you see, and I think Moi was wise enough to see it, because hiyo time aliangalia akaona enyewe hata kama ni wizi inahitaji ukuwe na kitu.
Exactly.
You can't steal from me and you have nothing. You understand? So if you steal from me and you have something that is jazzering what you currently have, then it becomes something. So you never know. We'll wait and see to 2027. But what I know is that people are still very angry. People can't wait IBC kuwe formed waende wa register continuously. So you never know. But one day in politics is a long time.
It's a long time. Tuwezi badilika.
Now let's talk about
jumping into the US,
American.
The US elections. Sasa imefanyika tu. Just recently concluded. Ni jana ama ni jana?
Jana. I think
jana actually. Sasa ndio pale they have a new president. Okay, not a new president, but
it's the 47th president.
Well, I'm recycled to say. I'm recycled tena, but ni sawa. But people have spoken. And it was also like a landslide. Ama tuseme ilikuwa landslide.
It was a sweep. I would call it a sweep.
Like okay, John alikuwa shajua hours before he was declared. He made his speech, his victory speech hata kabla kwa declared president elect, si ndio? So unaona aje mambo
mi hata kwanza niko na swali moja kwako. If you are an American with the right to vote, or an American immigrant with the right to vote, who do you have voted for?
I'm
just saying, who would have been your preferential candidate to cast your support on?
Okay, maybe they'll put it. I'll put it from the policies and the campaign strategy that America. The person who was more appealing to me, the candidate who was more appealing to me was Donald Trump. To be honest.
Ungekuwa adui ya watu wengi wewe.
Hata kusema hivyo, but ukiangalia nini strategy yake ya this campaign strategy na policies he actually knows what he's talking about. Can articulate just ile tu like ile I would say amekuwa hapo before, so he knows what he did right the last time, he knows what he did wrong. So is it anafanya wrong exactly, is it anafanya he did wrong the last time hakurudia tena. And actually in a sense unashauri zile tu ni kama the things that boosted his popularity amongst the voters in the US. One was his assassination attempt.
Oh yeah, that definitely played a role. You know, this guy, he has some, let's say he has some charisma to him, because immediately he got shot, his first reaction was fight, and I was like, this has to be staged. In my thought process, I was like, this can't be real, because you just been shot, and the first thing is like, I was like, no. But yeah, for sure, that one galvanized a lot of Republican voters who were very 50-50 antsy because of the persona of Donald Trump himself.
Sasa pala akasolidika
so akasema hata kama ni mjinga wetu. You get? It's similar to what happens in tribalism. You see, like now, I would tell you for sure Gachagua was not the most liked person in Mount Kenya anyway. But the fact that he was treated unfairly galvanized a lot of people around him, like, okay, he's a bully, but he's our bully. You understand? So in terms of the US election,
it's one of those like, you know, he's one of our own, so we defend our own no matter what. No,
for sure. So in terms of the election, I also would have been supporting Trump, for sure, 100%. And in fact, I've been, as a mildly invested person in the American election, I had predicted Trump would win. Sikuwekelea. Sikuwa najua ati watu wana bet. I came and saw it that watu wana bet juzi.
Ndio hadi ukoona like ilikuwa it was people placing bets vizuri. And do you know kuna this what's his name? Twitch streamer. Anakuwa Twitch. Edin Ross.
Is it Edin Ross? Yes.
Not Twitch, ndio Twitch stream. Aliekelea mita in
$1 million.
Aliekelea mita.
$100 million plus.
Aliekelea mita in dollars pale.
My lord.
Stake out alikuwa Trump hapo toa 1.6. Sasa yeye amekula pale a clean 660. At least 600,000.
Let me tell you how I knew that people are betting. I was watching the news following the election, and then I'm seeing why are they looking at pollsters and these things they usually do, opinion polls, and they're also looking at betting sites. I'm like, well, then I realized there's a lot of people who have staked their money into who becomes the candidate, like actual money.
You know, some scare system hata tuseme delving into that. The kuna system unasikia like sasa tomorrow kufanya is trying to change the narrative of how people campaign in the country. Ile design you are funded by the people.
Yeah.
So that's the system inafanyika US. You are funded by, because once kama campaign ya Trump ilikuwa accumulated well over $200 million. Campaign yani pesa wanatumia kutoka kwa zao.
And I want to be fact checked over this, right? So if you know better facts, tell me. But in terms of financing, the Democratic Party had more financing than Trump, because when Kamala became the candidate, her introduction as a candidate, and the fact that of course voter bases was inachoka haraka sana na mtu, so alikuwa ni kama wamechoka na Biden, you get. So the fact that there was a new candidate, a fresh candidate, unakumbuka they were going a lot with that slogan of she's brought joy back into the campaign, you dig. It raised a lot of money. She broke a lot of records when she was doing that campaign, like as a candidate who's reached a certain threshold in such a short time. So I think Democrats have something to learn from this election. I personally feel that in spite of everything that they're saying is the reason why they lost the election, chief among them should be asking themselves how Trump managed to take away something small from each is what is considered traditionally a democratic vote. For example, Hispanic voters. Hispanic voters are mostly migrants, right? Or they form a huge part of the migrant community. So wanajiulize kwa nini aliweza kuconvince hawa?
Anaambia kama okay, in one of these policies he's very strong on
immigration law, for sure.
Immigration policies. So yeye ndio kishajua manzo watu wetu watakuwa ngumu kuingia huku. Sisi pia tunaweza shikwa tutolewe. Yaani bado unapata there's a chunk of them bado anampatia.
You need to ask yourself kwani aliwaambia nini?
Anakuambia in terms of strategy, campaign strategy and his policy, the way he articulated his policies to the people. And the fact that he used what the government was doing, the state government was doing against them. Another point I was coming to was the fact that alisema one of his speeches alikuwa anasema mambo ya TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Because unajua sasa US of course watu wanajua the Congress ilishapitisha was it the bill ama
I think I had covered that story sometime back.
Yeah, wakapitisha hiyo sasa like walikuwa ban TikTok or they're still in the process of banning TikTok.
Yeah.
So Trump toka tokea pale akasema in one of his campaign trails akasema pale the other side is going to take down TikTok.
They're gonna ban TikTok.
Yeah, they're gonna ban TikTok. Vote for me and save TikTok.
Gonna be around.
And save TikTok. Just for that, believe me. Hiyo especially a month population of US citizens who use TikTok and are monetized and from TikTok. That is something that atakaangalia sema even if ulikuwa let's say hata you are on the 70 side Kamala Harris, lakini usikie kitu kama hiyo kitu inakutengenezea pesa inataka kuserviwa. Believe me, kuna kitu unakaa unafikiria.
I mean, and I've always told even
very simple but very strong.
Yeah, some of my friends are Democrats and I've always told them, you know, you need to always remember one thing. People vote in elections because they identify with mostly one or two things from that candidate.
Yeah.
That is why candidates don't have one uniform message for everybody. They have tailored messages for what might appeal to you. So unaweza pata somebody could have reduced the whole Trump issue, regardless of all his flaws, into he's going to save TikTok. I make money from TikTok. TikTok has changed my life.
Exactly.
I'm going to vote for the candidate.
Just to save my own belief.
And then he follows that through by dragging his campaign into podcasts. You see what is that?
Very brilliant strategies, and which sasa ukiangalia that has changed the narrative of how people campaign. Sasa kama story ya mainstream media, it's about to change the whole dynamic of how campaigns are done. Because sasa pale akienda kwenye podcast akitembelea akina Joe Rogan, Ross,
I don't did one with Paul Logan.
He exactly has his own podcast.
Is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Whatever. One of the brothers.
Hadi akafungu he has his own TikTok account. Pale
and you see people
simple things, just the simple things.
Watu wanaweza chukuliza vitu za ufala, but I think Trump mastered how to take a lot of issues and simplify them into one thing. Think of when he was talking about, back when he was campaigning the first time, he was talking about we're gonna build a wall, a big wall.
So kufanya hivi.
A big wall. It's gonna keep the Mexicans out. And the Mexicans are gonna pay for the wall. You see, you might think that is a nonsensical thing, because I want you to just think about it on a practicality basis. Imagine if any candidate started telling you wamezidi sana utajenga ukuta pale Moyale. You're like, utajenga ukuta inatushanaji ndio wa keep out. So, but then people start now overcomplicating, overthinking the issue. They're saying the wall is a representation of America's security. And then now it becomes a campaign topic. Now the other side has to respond. But anyway, I think for Kamala Harris, one, I am not sure where her career is gonna go from here.
Because actually, another point which is she was bashed by the mainstream media that she did was she did not concede defeat as a professional politician. In a sense that like wewe pale unajua we've lost. But supporters walitokea kwenye ulikuwa kwa hiyo
show support.
Walikuwa nitanga wapi like where sasa like kwa kwenye Trump alikuwa like anasomea speech yake sasa kama Harris alikuwa la yake.
Watu walikuwa
wamejipanga kwenda huko. So imagine sasa she already knows she's lost. And tokea hata kwa dress watu wametoka pale kumsupport. Ati akaenda home.
I think that was her moment to galvanize her support.
Exactly, at least
keep herself there as a candidate.
Hata even it might keep if kama hizo ndogo zitamweka hata maybe next time she might
actually be a front runner.
Exactly, next time they she took the loss like
let me tell you, American politics is very unforgiving. Si kama hapa Kenya ati unajua next year bado baba atakuwa. You know, si kama hivyo. Hapa inakuwa ni very tricky. You see like now in 2008 I think or 2013, I don't know, whichever one Obama was running. He was running against Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, if you saw the debate between Obama and Mitt Romney and the debate between Trump and Joe Biden, you see how far America has come. But they were so able to articulate issues, it was amazing, right? Now you look at that, you never heard from Mitt Romney again. Mitt Romney, yes, he's still a Republican, he still has some say here and there, but he's not at the level he was at when he was competing with Obama.
Sana alipigwa polisi, anasimama unamalizwa kisiasa.
Alimalizwa kisiasa. Now me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, so Kamala has a lot of problems to face. To move on kwa a different story, right? Kamala has a lot of problems to face. One, she did not go through the traditional process of being the candidate. So already within their own base, there were people who are saying, her being that she did not go through the Democratic primaries, was she really the best person to fly the flag? But she was the senior most in the party, so she must have. So ilibidi, right?
The situation.
Then you come kidogo, you find that people are even talking about her choice of candidates. So it's a lot. And if I think if the Democratic Party doesn't get their act together, they're going to lose even the next one, because right now as we speak, okay, Kamala has lost, right? Senate, they've also lost the majority. The House of Representatives, the Republican, I don't know which side it has been called for, but a lot of Republicans were winning at the time I was looking at it. Congress, the same. Governors, by the time I was looking, it was 7 governors elected, 1 uncalled, and 3 in Democrats. So that's what I was saying. It may not have been a landslide, but it was a clean sweep.
It was decisive.
And yes, and then Trump was on course at the time I was looking to be the candidate from the Republican Party who has won by a popular vote since the last 20 years. Republicans don't usually win the popular vote. Wanashindana na hizo electoral colleges, because even the time he won against Hillary had more votes in terms of popular vote, but he had the electoral colleges. So it's a system now too. So this time he's won the electoral colleges. He's won the popular vote. More governors have won.
Wacha ndio ifike mahali wewe umeshatambua mimi. Hata kama unaanzia unasikia watu walikuwa wauliza, like, of course, let's say the Democrat bias mainstream media.
Yeah.
Walikuwa wauliza, has he been announced yet? No, he's not been announced, but he's still giving his victory speech. Like, yeah. Is that confident? Ameenda naye.
He was sure. He was sure. So I think the Democrats have a lot to think about. But away from politics and that bit, the other story that has happened, the other story that is uniting the nation,